Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. So from this video onwards we are going to learn a new subject, that is data structures. Okay, so now in this video we are going to understand the introduction of the data structures. So now let's see the introduction part. So here the name data structures denote that the data is stored in different structural format. So here mainly the data structures is nothing but how to store and organize the data so that it can be used efficiently. Okay, so we're going to store the data in different structural formats, and based on the efficiency and accessibility of the structural format, where we can use that particular data structure. So we're having many data structures here, so we can use any data structure based on the availability or the purpose of the user. The data structure is not a programming language. Yes, it is not a programming language. So it is a way of organizing the data into the storage. For example, if you consider the arrays, so in the arrays, the data will be stored in a sequential format, right? In the consecutive memory locations, the data will be stored. Okay, so this is one way of organizing the data in a sequential manner. So similarly, we are having the different ways to organize the data in the memory location. So here the data structures denote the storing of data in the memory location. So in the different structural format, we are going to store the data. So now let us see what is a data first of all, and what is the difference between the data and information. So data means value or set of values. Okay, so data means nothing but it is a set of ASCII characters or values. For example, I am taking the number 30, okay, 12/5/2000, ISBN, and John. So this is some data. This is the raw data. I don't know anything about data. So here we are having the data. It is a set of ASCII characters or values, right? Now let us see what is the information. So information means a processed data or a meaningful data. Okay, so it is called as meaningful data or processed data. So now let us see with the example here. So in the previous table we have seen the numbers 30 and the date, right? So 30 is the age of the person, and the 12/5/2000 is the date of birth of the person, and ISBN. So this is the ISBN number of the book, and the name of the person is John. Okay, so this is the how we can store the data regarding a person here. So now let us see what are the different types of data structures. So here the data structure is divided into two parts, that is the primitive and non-primitive type. In the primitive data structures, so we are having the data types int, char, float, double, and pointer. Whereas in the case of the non-primitive data structures, we are having the linear and non-linear format. So linear means arrays, linked list, stacks, and queues. So in the case of this type of memory allocations, suppose if we take the arrays, the data will be stored in the sequential format. And in the case of the linked list, the data may not be stored in a sequential format, but the data will be organized in a linear manner. Okay, but the memory locations will be different. But in the case of the arrays, the memory locations will be consecutive locations. The data will be stored in the consecutive memory locations. But in the case of linked list, the data will be stored in a linear format, but the memory locations will not be in the contiguous format. And the stacks and queues. So in the both stacks and queues also, the data will be stored in consecutive format. Okay, and in the stacks we are going to store the data and access the data in the LIFO manner, and in the queues we are going to access in the FIFO manner. So next one is the non-linear data structures. So trees and graphs are the examples of the non-linear data structures. That means the data is not stored in the linear format, like how we store the data in the arrays and linked lists. So data will be scattered here. So now let us see one by one how it will be. So in addition to the linear and non-linear data structure, we are having another type, that is static and dynamic data structures. So static data structure is a type of data structure where the size is allocated at the compile time. Therefore, the maximum size is fixed. So for example, array is a static data structure. So in the array, we are mentioning the size of the array. That means array of 10, array of 50, like that we are fixing the maximum size of the particular array. Okay. So in this type of data structure, the size is allocated at the compile time only. Okay. So here the size is fixed and we cannot change the maximum size here, right? So which is declared at the compile time. So the example of static data structure is arrays. Okay. So in arrays, we are fixing the maximum size of the array. So what are the advantages and drawbacks of this type of static data structure? Means the advantage is faster access. So we can access the data fastly compared. You can access the data fastly in the static data structure, since in the arrays the data will be in the consecutive memory locations, and if you know the base address of the particular array, then you can easily traverse through the array and access the element. And the drawback here is slower insertion and deletion. So in the case of the static data structure, that is the array, so if you want to insert an element at the particular position here, suppose there is an array and I want to insert the data at the particular position. So let us say an array with the size 5, array of 5. Okay, I want to insert an element at the first position here. Okay, I want to insert the element at the first position. Then I have to shift the data in the first position to the second position, and the data in second position to the third position, and the third position data to the fourth position. If there is some space in the array only, then I can shift the elements and I can insert the element at the particular position. So here I want to insert the data at first position, right? So I am shifting the value in the first position to the second position, and second position to third position, and third position to the fourth position. Okay, then only I can insert the data at the first position. So now after shifting the elements here, so here we are shifting the 3 elements to the right side and inserting the element. So the new array will be of this type. So 1, 5, 2, 3 and 4. So this is the new array after inserting the element. That means for the array of size 5, so here I am going to shift 3 elements here, right? Suppose I am taking a array of 50, array of 100 and array of 1000 elements, then I have to shift the 1000 elements here if I want to insert an element at the starting of the array. So then it will be a difficult thing, right? It consumes lot of time for the insertion and deletion. And similarly, if I want to delete an element also, it takes a lot of time. So that's why the drawback here is slower insertion and deletion. So next one is the dynamic data structure. So here the dynamic data structure is a type of data structure where the size is allocated at the runtime. So here the size is flexible. In the case of the arrays, the size is fixed, that is array of 50, like that the size is fixed. That means only 50 memory allocations will be allocated in the array. But in the case of dynamic data structure, so we can insert n number of elements to the particular data structure. The example of the dynamic data structure is the linked list. So in the linked list, we can insert n number of elements to the linked list. So simply we can add new node to the linked list, right? So there is no need of shifting the elements or removing the elements here. So we can easily create a node using the structure and then insert the node to the already existing linked list. Okay, so say the maximum size is flexible and it will be very efficient to access the linked list also. So advantage is the faster access. That means we can easily access the linked list, the data in the linked list. And the drawback here is slower insertion and deletion. So here the main drawback the linked list is, for the linked list we are using the nodes to point to the next node, right? So in order to we have to store the pointers more. Okay, that is the drawback of the dynamic data structure. So we have to store the pointers. That means we will be having some extra information in addition to storing the data elements. So next one is the arrays. So we will see in brief about the data structures that we are going to learn in this upcoming videos. So arrays are the simplest data structure that stores items of same data type. So array will store the data of the homogeneous data type. Okay, that means if you are taking an array of 30, then it is going to store 30 elements of data with the same type. That means it may be of integer type only or character type only. That means 30 character elements or 30 integer elements or 30 float elements it is going to store in the consecutive memory location. Okay. So like this, in this manner it will store the data in the consecutive memory locations. Okay. So next one is the stack. Okay. So in the stack we are going to insert and delete the elements in the LIFO manner, that is the last in first out manner. So after inserting all the elements to the stack, so we are going to remove the element that is last inserted into the stack. So it uses the LIFO manner here. So the element that is last inserted to the stack will be removed first. The next one is the linked list. So in this data structure, it is a sequence of data structure which connects the elements called nodes through the links. Okay. So here each node is linked to another node using the link. And the end of the linked list is denoted by a null variable. And the starting of the linked list is denoted by header variable. So next one is the graph. A graph is a data structure where the data is stored in a collection of interconnected vertices and edges. A graph is a data structure which stores the data in the format of nodes and paths, that is the vertices and the edges. So data will be stored in the nodes and the link will be in the format of the paths. Okay. So next one is the trees. So a tree is also a collection of the vertices and edges. The difference between the trees and graphs is in the graphs the cycles are possible, but in the trees the cycle is not possible. So it is similar to how the tree will be like. So normally a tree will be with the root and then the branches and leaves, right? Similarly here the tree's data structure will be in the inverted form of the normal tree. So here the root node will be there with the branches and the leaf nodes. Okay, so this is similar to inverted position of the normal tree. Okay, so in the normal tree the root will be there followed by the branches and then the leaves. So similarly here the root node, branches and the leaves at the end of the node. In this data structure, there can only be one edge between the two vertices, right? So it won't form any cycle like the graph. So now let us see some of the real-time applications of the given data structures. So here the contacts on our phone. So normally the contacts on our phone will be stored in a sequential manner. That is an example of the array. And image viewer software in the system. Okay, so image viewer software is a example of the linked list. So in the linked list we will be having a pointer to the next node, right? So in the linked list, using the linked list we can point to the next node and the previous node. Similarly here, using the image viewer software, we can point to the previous photo and the next photo also, right? We can traverse through the photos. And accessing the web pages is also an example of the linked list. So in the web pages we will be having the front and backward direction in the web browser, right? So if you click on the back button, then we will go to the previous visited pages, and if you are going to click this forward button, then we are going to visit the web pages that we have already visited here, right? We can traverse between the pages. And music players, so this is also an example of the linked list. So in the music player also we can traverse to the songs in the list of the playlist using the arrow marks, right? So this is also example of the linked list. And the message logs, call logs, and email logs. So these are also the example of the stack. Okay, so here the message logs. So the messages came to your phone will be in the format of the last in first out manner, right? If you observe it, so here the today's message will be at the top of the list, and yesterday's message will be at the next list, and the previous messages will be at the end of the list, right? So it will be in a LIFO manner. Call logs and email logs also will be, the latest emails and messages will be at the top of the stack, and the past mails and messages will be at the bottom of the stack. Next, undo and redo operation. So if you are editing a document, then if you click the undo operation, then it will be stored in a stack. Okay, so everything will be, the undo and redo operation will be performed using the stacks. So the data entered in the document will be stored in the stack. When you are going to click the undo operation, then it will pop the data from the stack. And if you are using the redo operation, then it is going to push the data into the stack. Okay. So next one is the operating system and networking. So this will be used for the graphs, operating system and networking. Okay. So in the internet is the best example for the graphs. So every node will be connected to another node. That means every computer will be connected to another computer here in the format of graphs. And GPS navigation system and social media networking sites. So these are also an example of a graph. Domain name server. So this is an example of the trees, and file explorer in the system or the mobile phone. So how the file explorer things will be stored here means, so starting by the root node, so we will be having some different nodes, right? Like so for the Android version there will be a node, and then for the backup there will be a node, and for some of the apps there will be a node, right? So there is a node, and again in the particular backup, so we'll be having some data. So here the data is stored in the tree format. And the domain name server also, that means the address of the particular server location, so it will be stored in the format of trees. If you observe the address in the web browser, so it will be in the format of the trees. And next one is the binary search tree. So this is also an example of the trees. So posting questions on websites like Quora, the comments are the child of the questions. So in the some of the websites like Quora, so the there will be some content, and for the content there will be some comments. Okay, again for the comments there will be some child comments, right? So that means there will be some replies for the comments. So here the content is the root node, and for this the comments are the child nodes, and for that child nodes again there will, for that comments there will be some. So this is the content, so there are some comments, and for the comments also there will be some replies, right? So like this it will be stored in a tree format. So these are some of the real-time applications of the data structures. So operations on the data structure. So there are different types of operations that we can perform on a data structure. So now let us see it briefly here. That is searching, sorting, insertion, updation, and deletion. So in the given data structure, that is array, we can perform all these operations. Okay, so first of all, searching an array. So in the searching of an array, so we are going to search the particular data element in the given array. And sorting. So for the sorting of an array, so here we are going to sort the data in ascending or descending order. So now we have sorted the data in the array in the descending format. Okay. So next one is the insertion. So in the case of insertion, so this is the normal array, and I want to insert an element at the array 4. Okay, the position 4 I want to insert an element. Then I am going to insert the element here in the array 4. Okay, so after the in the fifth location I am going to insert the element. So here the elements are empty, that means there is no element in the fifth and sixth location. So I am going to insert the new value to the fifth location here. Okay, that is 60 and 70. So I have updated the new elements here. So next one is the updation. So in the case of the updation, so in the previous one, so here in the 4, so we are having the location 4, we are having the 50 value, and here we have updated the new one as the 80. So that means insertion means if there is an empty location, we are inserting the new elements. Updation means we are modifying already existing elements. Right, and the next one is the deletion of the particular element. So if you want to delete an element at the particular location in the array, we can delete it. So these are some of the operations performed on the data structure. And now let us see some of the advantages and the drawbacks of the data structures. Efficiency. We can efficiently access the data from the data structures using the data structures. So each data structure will be having its own advantage and drawback. So based on how much time it will consume to access the data and how much space it is consuming on this particular data structure, so based on that we can use the data structure in a efficient manner. And another one is reusability. So we can reuse the data structure. Okay, by modifying the data or updating the data, we can reuse the data structure after deleting the data. So next one is the abstraction. So abstraction means hiding the details of the data. So abstraction means it is going to hide the details from the user. Okay, so it will show so what is the operation that we are going to apply, but it is not going to show how it will be performed. So next one is the abstract data type. So abstract data type. So this is the data type that a logical description of how we view the data and the operations that are allowed without regard to how they will be implemented. So it will hide the details about how the operations will be performed. Okay, so and it will show what are the operations that are going to perform on this particular data type, but it is not going to show how it will be implemented here. Okay, so here abstract data type is like a black box. Okay, so we are giving some input to the black box and we are getting the output. That means, so we are allowed to, so we are allowed that what are the data or what is the data that we are going to give as input to the black box, but we don't know what is the operation that is going to be performed inside the black box. So abstract data type is a hidden box that hides all the internal details of the data type. So it is we can consider it as a black box that hides all the details, and if we are going to give a particular input, it is going to perform the operations and produce the output, but we are not going to know what is how it will be implemented here, but we know the data that we are going to give it to the black box. Now let us see an example here regarding the abstract data type. A simple real-time example, that is a switch. Okay, so here, so we are going to perform only two operations on the switch, that is on and off operation. Okay, and that means we know what will be performed, but how it is going to perform, that we don't know, right? So suppose I want to switch on the fan, then I will switch on the fan. Okay, so here we are having only two operations, that is on and off, right? And we don't know what is and how the fan will get switched on when I switch the button. Okay, I don't know how the fan gets switched on. That means I don't know the internal function, how the switch is going to on the fan. Okay, so these are some of the data that we know about the switch, but we don't know how it will be implemented. So this is a switch type, material, voltage, frequency and phase. So, and the operations that we are going to perform on a switch, that we think, that all basic things that we know, but how the operation is performed, that means how when we switch the button, how the fan gets switched on, that we don't know. So it is about the abstract data type. So it is hiding all the details, that how the power is applied to the fan and it gets switched on, that we don't know, but we know only the basic information, that is on and off, the operations performed on the switch and the details about the switch. Okay, so this is about so we know about the definition and the operations that we are going to perform on the data type. Okay, so this is the definition and the operations that we perform on the data type, on and off. That only we know, but we don't know how it will be implemented. So this is about the introduction to the data structures, and thanks for watching my video.